Checking Miss Tolmash's register of attendance in the backward class this morning, I became aware of serious errors of accounting. Lucinda Bull, who is in hospital, had been marked as present all week. To further the confusion, numerous children had been marked as being absent and present at the same time. I therefore wrote a detailed analysis of Miss Tolmash's mistakes, going right back to the beginning of term. I inserted this in her register, where she will be sure to find it when she next opens it. Some teachers do not appear to understand that a register is an official document.
Darling Sister Felicity, no, it is not true that I work in a madhouse. Most of the time things slouch along very mildly. I only bother to recount to you the bizarre. Just before opening time yesterday morning, I heard wailing in the next-door classroom and found Miss Tolmash, 50-ish and of locally gentle birth, standing by her desk, staring at her register and making an extraordinary keening. I pushed a chair under her, but the lamentation abated not a whit. Soon, the old-school Pintle heard it and came charging in.
I've seen this coming. It's her time of life.
Then Mr. Harpole came steaming along.
Be still, Miss Tolmash, be still. Please remember the children.
Then Mrs. Grindle-Jones put her head around the door.
Shall I ring the bell, Mr. Harpole? It's 5 to 9.
At this, Mr. Harpole picks up a piece of paper lying on her register and, holding it before Miss Tolmash like smelling salts, dramatically tears it in half.
It's all right, Miss Tolmash. Don't be upset. You can keep doing it the way you've always done it.
At this, Miss Tolmash shut off the steam and throttled down to a gentle sniffing. All very mysterious. To be continued.
Tusker to Harpole. I have received a communication from Miss Grace Tolmash. This instructs me that she is contemplating resignation because she feels she cannot perform her duties to, and I quote, the superhuman standard expected of us by Mr. Harpole, and this is causing me great distress. I should be obliged if you would arrange an interview with my secretary so that I can have a detailed report on how this regrettable incident arose. This office is unlikely to recognise potential head-teacher material in anyone who makes a god of petty, clerical mumbo-jumbo to frustrate dedicated teachers.
As if this were not enough, while reading the communication from Tusker, an unusual person, strangely dressed, breezed into my office.
Hello, I'm Sue Bird.
She was wearing a red, black and orange jersey well up her legs like a footballer, and had 2 strings of baubles dangling to her waist. She was holding a magazine called Where, which, she said, gave her a list of schools which might be suitable for her 9-year-old, Elspeth.
I'll be frank, Mr. Harpole. When I saw the age of your buildings, that you only had outside loos and occasionally smacked the kids, I more or less ruled you out.
Well, that would be a pity.
Then, in fairness, I thought I ought at least to look at your teaching.
But even that, Mrs. Bird, will not give you a true impression. A stranger in the classroom creates an artificial situation.
Oh, that's all right. I can tell all I want by just looking at a person.
Mrs. Bird, qualified professionals like teachers, doctors and dentists do not consider it necessary to be inspected by prospective clients.
No, those are not good analogies, Mr. Harpole. Any parent can try a doctor or dentist before letting them loose on one's children.
It occurred to me that this indeed was true, but I stuck to my guns and she went off on her next call, which was just as well as Mr. Pintle, incoherent with rage and grief, burst in accusingly, this being the season when he does the Normans.
I have just been to the storeroom, Mr. Harpole, and it is empty.
Empty? The storeroom? That can't be the...
My cardboard Norman keep! It is not there! I made the keep in college. I use it every year. It is not there!
I'll look into it.
In its place are brushes, mops, and an old desk!
Having failed to pacify Pintle, I sent for the caretaker, but Theka was defiant before I could even speak.
Junk.
Mr. Theka,
I do not need Junk, I need my room for my own desk.
What do you need a desk for?
For my paperwork.
But you have no clerical work.
I am writing out the names of all the children in case someone wants to know when you're all off on your long holidays.
This is ridiculous.
And today, I moved a desk from room 3 to room 4 and I wrote down, moved desk from room 3 to room 4. It confirms that I did it, now that it's on paper.
But I can see for myself that you did it, Mr. Thieker. This is not the Foreign Legion. We are not sending signals from one desert fort to another.
And I shall be wanting an assistant.
Now that you have a desk.
What with all this paperwork to get through?
What have you done with my Norman keep?
Mr. Thieker, before 9 in the morning, the storeroom must be returned to its former state. Everything must be put back, including Mr. Pintle's Norman fortress. Circular to all staff. I would like all staff to arrange an outside visit to stimulate the interest of the children in the world around us. Please let me know the centre of interest that you propose to visit.
Miss Tolmash and the backward class will visit the Alderman Tolmash Old Folks' Home. Aim of visit to foster civic pride.
Mr. Crozer and Class 1 will visit Highworth Hall to study how the rich live.
Mr. Pintle and Class 2 will visit Mutler and Sons Thread Factory to prepare class for work in their future life.
Class 3 and Mrs. Grindle-Jones to the cathedral to teach children the glory of God as made manifest by man's handiwork here below.
Miss Foxborough and Class 4 to the confluence of the rivers Elver and Alder. Aim, to have an exciting time. See Porlebury's Education for a Free Society, pages 137 to 139.
Free writing by Titus Fawcett, Class 4. The best bit was when we were attacked by some big cows, gigantic-like, and all the children went screaming. But Miss Foxyborough got her umbrella, and I shouted, "Boys shall be gored to death like a bullfighter!" And we all got round our leader and cried, "Charge!" like the US cavalry and wagon train. And Henrietta Billet charged with me, and the cows turned tail and fled, and Miss Foxyborough praised our bravery. And while we were in the bog, she lost her boot and couldn't find it, but she hopped over to the River Elder and said, "Oh, great spirit of the Elver and the Alder, hear my cry and bear my message far upon the bosom of thy tide." And then we all threw our bottles in.
Tusker to Harpole. I enclose a communication from the clerk to the Elver and Alder Catchment Board. My attention has been drawn to numerous glass receptacles travelling seaward on the waterway of this authority, not to mention the many more stuck in the mud, scent bottles, pop bottles, and even a beer bottle. May I point out this regrettable occurrence and suggest you draw the attention of the teacher responsible to Section 9 of the Elver and Alder Catchment Board Bylaw 1947 and the fine not exceeding £25.
Failing in my attempt to interest our children in the world around us, I checked all the toilets and then decided on an internal investigation of our religious instruction and the adjustments needed before the next school inspection. I shall observe all classes in turn. First, I shall call on Miss Tolmash and the backward class.
Jesus loves us, children. He is waiting for us beyond the bright blue sky where we shall sit at his feet and praise him. In heaven, the palms are not in pots as you see in seaside hotels. No, those heavenly palms grow out of the ground. Jesus loves us, children. When we do good things, he is happy. And when we do bad things, he is sad. We should not like to make Jesus sad, children, should we? Say no, children.
The inspector should be satisfied with this. Next, I went to Mr. Pintle's class to see that the boys and girls were making beautiful tinted images of the Holy Land in the time of the prophet Amos. When I entered Miss Foxborough's room, she immediately stopped. After a moment's silence, I said, "I should like to observe your scripture lesson, Miss Foxborough, if I may."
Oh, very well. On your own head be it. We are not grinding our way through the agreed syllabus. Now, children, I will continue this demonstration lesson, in which I shall use the well-known deduction method of teaching because Mr. Harpole has come to inspect me. As I was saying, if the vicar died and Jesus applied for the vacant post at Tampling St. Nicholas, do you think he would get the job?
Yes!
No, you are wrong. At 30, he would have been considered too young. Then, of course, he was working class, didn't have a degree, had not attended a theological college, spoke in a strong local dialect, and, let's face it, must have looked very like a tramp.
Or a beatnik, miss!
Or a beatnik, Titus. And, of course, he was not white. In fact, some might have called him coloured.
Hearing this, and the noise from next door, I immediately withdrew. Mr. Crozer did not hear my entry, being seated at his desk studying the Bible. When he did see me, he looked confused and startled.
Ah, Mr. Harpole is here, and as a special treat, I shall tell you about the great prophet Benaiah. That is Benaiah. When he was at school, Benaiah could fight all the older boys in the playground, and of course he was top monitor. He had everything laid out ready for his teacher on his desk and brought him sacrifices. Of course, he passed his 11 plus, and one day, during the hungry season, when the snow was snowing hard, the king was in big trouble, and he said, "Find me a real tough man for a real tough job." And Benaiah knew he was the one being called, and he turned his back on the free buffet bar at... Right, I will finish it tomorrow. Homework. Get out your mental books. If one car has 4 wheels, how many wheels will 28 cars have? The steering wheel does not count.
Just before the morning bell, I passed Miss Tolmash's room. Through the window, I saw her remove a withered wreath from a carrier bag and hang it on a nail adjacent to the wall blackboard. Deciding subtlety was called for, I praised the needlework samples the backward class had been toiling at since last September, and then said, in an airy manner, "Ah, I see the children have brought you some flowers. What a pity they have withered. As I shall be passing the dustbins, I'll take them away."
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Harpole, but no, thank you.
My initial reaction was to shake the wreath to dislodge dust and vermin, and then to insist on its instant removal. But I was conscious, as I increasingly am, of my legal position. Indeed, legality is beginning to obsess me. so I decided to come right out with it. Miss Tolmash, must you have a funeral wreath in your classroom?
I must, Mr. Harpole, and I will tell you why. I have a wreath in my classroom because it symbolises the graveyard of the bright hopes I once had of being given a proper class, like anyone else.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Ever since I came here, which was even before Mr. Chadband, I have been landed with the backwards. There was a time when, in my ignorance, I felt sorry only for myself, but now it is for them. The backwards. It shows such a crude lack of respect. The backwards know what C means, even before the parents of the A's and the B's translate it for them. And all they've got left is to cry into their pillows, and when they're old enough to knock in the windows of the telephone booth. I did think, when you took over, Mr. Harpole, that you'd abolish it.
Circular to all staff. 1. The backward class will cease to exist on Friday at 4 p.m. 2. On free meals. Every teacher has a list of children receiving these and will be notified by me of any names added or withdrawn. Thus, it is quite unnecessary to summon children receiving free meals to your desk each Monday morning to tell you that he or she is present and is eligible for free meals, as you will already have marked the class register and need merely mark him or her in the meals register. I am sure there is no need for elaboration on the social reasons for asking you to follow this procedure.
Pintle to Harpole. My method of having all children eating school meals, paid for or free, line up at my desk ensures accurate accounting. If a free dinner child doesn't consider that having 5 free meals a week is worth the effort of saying the words "free dinner, sir," then to me an alternative is to hand. He or she can go home for the meal.
Harpole to Pintle. I have no doubt that some children find it shameful to admit that their father's low income puts them in the free meals category. Still less can a child be responsible for its own poverty. I shall be greatly obliged if you would put the new system into effect forthwith.
Right, now, the free dinners. Free dinners line up at my desk. Come on, line up so that I can check you.
Mr. Pintle! I have told you what I want you to do! Do it!
I shall be glad when Mr. Chadband comes back. As if Pintle's attitude were not enough, I have been told by the Education Office, in the spirit of taking the rough with the smooth, to admit the Widmerpool children. And the Widmerpools, another word for a trail of havoc, have been shifted into the empty house down by the sewerage. The next morning, Mrs. Widmerpool turned up at my office, followed in by her offspring.
No, you can't have them all, love. 4 are for you, 3 are for the secondary.
And their names
and
are...
he says if any of them gives you any trouble, send them home and he'll belt them.
So these are your 7, Mrs. Widmerpool?
Don't talk to me. I don't want any more. I didn't want the last 3. He made me have them on Saturday nights. He won't let me be. I must always be having it, which I like and I don't like, if you know what I mean.
Mrs. Widmerpool, I'm not sure
what
this
I mean
is...
I shouldn't like it if you didn't want it sometime.
Mrs.
I have seen it in my sister's love magazine that the well-off only has it of a weekend. But when I told him, he said, well, we'll go on as before, and to keep up with the Joneses, we'll have it twice on Sundays.
At this point, I stood up, reaching for Janet and John Infant Reading Course Books 1 to 4, to see if I could instigate a crash course for the family, when Dennis, the 4th Widmerpool, seized the school bell, began ringing it loudly, and then threw it down the entire length of the corridor, causing Mr. Pintle and Mrs. Grindle-Jones to rush out from their rooms, our brass bell being as sacrosanct as the Holy Grail. The other 6 Widmerpools then fled in all directions, breaking out into loud mocking laughter. I rounded them up, and when I got back to my office, I found Mrs. Widmerpool with Dennis over her knee, giving him 4 hearty smacks with Janet and John Book 3, which is a hardback. Mrs. Grindle-Jones, how can I help?
It is the Widmerpools.
Yes?
They get free meals, free clothes, free this, free that, free allowances, public assistance and subsidised rent. They carry on as if they owed society nothing, and they smell.
Mrs. Grindle-Jones, this is a school, you know. A place full of young people at every stage of their development.
You are beginning to sound, if I may say so, like Miss Foxborough.
Perhaps that is no bad thing.
I know this is a school, Mr. Harpole. I know all about schools. My husband and I are both very experienced teachers. And I also know the Widmerpools smell to high heaven. They are rank. They taint the air. It is a scandal. Goodness only knows what will happen when we have the knit inspection.
There is absolutely no connection between bodily cleanliness and the incident
Mr. Pintle thinks they should be sent to a labour camp.
I'm sure he does.
They are a millstone around the ratepayers' necks. Last night, I saw Reuben Widmerpool wearing a pair of girls' red shoes.
I leave that one to you, Mrs. Grindle-Jones, but if you really want to impress the Widmerpool family, why not give them a sight of strawberries and cream on your front lawn?
If I say it is wrong, it is wrong! I have no more of your confounded impertinence! Another word and back into the corridor you will go! If I say it is wrong, it is wrong!
I've heard what's going on. We're not living in a 5-star hotel down on the sewerage, but my kids are as clean as anybody else's. Rube says that Mrs. Griddlebones made him sit by himself and the other kids take the piss out of him that he's got nits. And if there is any more of this, Mr. Widmerpool is coming up.
Dearest Felicity, this last month an extraordinary educational experiment has been going on here. A family called the Widmerpools, whose very name causes every right-minded citizen of Tampling St. Nicholas to blench and dial 999, were admitted to the school by G. Harpole. G. Harpole believes juvenile lawlessness is caused by a lack of self-esteem, and that a lack of self-esteem is caused by a lack of success, and that one of the causes of a lack of success is an inability to read. So, 4 hapless Widmerpool kids were thrown into a merciless, non-stop reading regime. A crash course in the library from 9:30 until noon, and then again from 1:30 to 3:30 each day. Then he has them sent to his office on a rota, one by one, hour after hour, so that he can hear them read their pages. And despite a storm breaking and all hell going on, he stolidly makes them go T-R-E-E spells tree, S-I-T spells sit, and even I-S-L-A-N-D spells island. And you never saw such a change. The staggeringly improbable thing is that it has worked. You have to hand it to G. Harpole. In 3 weeks, the savages have been dragged shrieking into literacy and distributed to normal classes. I brought the matter up with G. Harpole when we met in the playground.
Oh, it's very good of you to mention it.
And it has worked. It has worked.
It seems so, yes.
Well done. Oh, come on, Mr. Harpole. We all like a little praise.
I suppose we do, Miss Foxborough.
Emma, please.
Yes, but I shouldn't like it spread around.
That I asked you to call me Emma?
No, not that. I shouldn't like it thought as anything special that we teach our boys and girls how to read. We are a school, after all. That is what schools do. Feeling that the Widmerpool children were now well on the road to rehabilitation, I thought, as a next step, and as an act of charity, if not celebration, I would send a good suit, donated by the Round Table, to Mr. Widmerpool. He brought it back the very next morning, complaining it was too tight around the crotch.
Dearest Felicity, no, I am not in love with George Harpole, and you needn't call him Bossman, it's so passé. If my last letter was full of him, it is only because undreamed-of virtue has emerged and developed during his interregnum. I hear stuff from hints that his private life may have gone sour on him, but that could be bosh. Oh, yes, one last thing. My door being ajar after lunch today, I could not help hearing him and Mrs. Grindle-Jones in the corridor.
No, Mrs. Grindle-Jones, no. I've had enough of this. I want these children treated as children, not as Victorian scullery maids. They are not here to provide the Grindle-Jones with a double pension. They are your raison d'etre each day between 9 and 4.
I've never been spoken to like this in my life before. Never. Not in all my 30 years' experience.
Mrs. Grindle-Jones, you have not had 30 years' experience. You have had 1 year's experience 30 times. When the school inspectors had left the building, I did my usual check of the premises before going home. I found Miss Foxborough in her classroom, her feet on her desk, her skirt well up her legs, leaning back and staring at the ceiling. For all that she has been to Cambridge, she does not care at all for her appearance. This is a great shame, as she is extremely attractive. She looked so lonely as I entered. You must find Tampling St. Nicholas very dull after Cambridge.
Oh, no. Au contraire.
No?
No, I find it quite fascinating.
I should be extremely interested to know what you find fascinating in this district.
Oh, all the architectural wonders that have not been worn out by being stared at, as those at Stratford-on-Avon and Florence have. Each Saturday I make an excursion.
This Saturday, as it happens, I have no cricket match.
Oh, that must be a great disappointment.
So I wondered if I might accompany you, so that I can see for myself what I am missing.
Of course you may.
Do you have a particular place in mind?
I do. Ferry Farthingdale Church. A church of staggering dimensions.
Built by the Normans.
Indeed it was. If we're there by 10, we will find it empty. If there is one thing I dread in a church, it is a vicar talking. The bus station at 9, then?
Mrs. Grindle-Jones to Mr. Harpole. This is to inform you that I have tendered my resignation to the Education Office, requesting that my contract be terminated from September the 1st. On that day, I shall have completed 30 years of service, and therefore shall be eligible for a pension at the age of 60, which will be in quite some years' time.
While I was absorbing this not unexpected news, Councillor Mrs. Blossom arrived. She was wearing a large Angora coat and a blonde wig, her hair being grey when last I saw her.
Why are we sitting on these hard chairs, Mr. Harpole, when there are nice easy ones in your little corner?
And she pulled her chair up so close that her knees were rubbing mine until I had to edge back.
I have no proper life, Mr. Harpole. My husband is old and always has been since he trapped me like the silly girl I was.
Oh, I'm sure that cannot...
Mr. Blossom is no use to me, Mr. Harpole. He is hopeless, and it will be a blessing when he continues his rest elsewhere. He's absolutely no consolation to me in bed, nor ever has been. Even in his early 50s, he fell asleep the minute he hit the sack, and nothing I could ever do roused him.
Councillor Blossom...
I sent for some pills I read about in the Sunday paper and crushed them into his cocoa, but all they did was make him scream that the Russians were coming.
Mrs. Blossom, please...
I bet you are different. Yeah, you are, aren't you? I like big men. Mr. Blossom is a small man, and I like to be managed, as I will show you when you come round to see me. What I need is a firm headmaster. You can have a flat of mine at my great empty place, and it will be at a nominal rate, shall we say £5 a week? Or a month, for all I care. My toes are painted red as well.
You will have to excuse me now, Councillor Blossom.
Annie, please, Annie. Oh, love me, Mr. Harpole, love me.
And she started to lick me.
I want a firm headmaster. Oh, I feel like a silly girl again this PM.
I struggled to my feet and straightened my back, and after hanging on to me for a while, she slid slowly to the floor, where she became caught up in her fur coat. Councillor Blossom, I have a class waiting. You can absolutely rely on me not to breathe a word of this. Not a word. I promise.
Tusker to Harpole. You are requested to attend a special meeting of the primary school managers on July the 4th at 6 p.m.
I was kept waiting in the corridor for 35 minutes past the notified time. When I was let in, the Reverend Mitchell Deaver, chairman of governors, looked most uncomfortable. Mr. Tusker simulated interest in the school logbook, and Councillor Mrs. Blossom glared at me with hot and angry eyes. I said good evening.
Well, I think we are all here. Yes? Yes? No one's still to come? No? In that case, perhaps we will begin. There has been a complaint. Mr. Harpole and the managers have asked you here to help us. There has been an allegation of deterioration in the school's moral tone. Perhaps you would care to read this.
And he handed me a page torn from an exercise book. It was by Titus Fawcett, Class 4. It read, "The Anti-God Club will meet at 7 tonight. Usual place. Titus Fawcett, Grand Master."
And this is what things have come down to here. This is in black and white. We can see how he is ruining the school Mr. Chadband worked to build up so painstakingly over the years. If Mr. Harpole hasn't the grace to resign, we should sack him. And I move that we do.
The inspector's report, which I have here, is very good, you know, very good.
Oh, them! Don't take any notice of them.
It is all very difficult. I expect the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fawcett, never brought Titus to the baptismal font. It is all very disappointing in a Christian country.
Give him his cards, now. He's upset everyone. All the teachers and children are up in arms and can't wait to see the back of him. How much notice do we have to give him, Mr. Tusker?
I can pass on your wishes to the Director of Education, but we can't do what you suggest at this level. This is a matter for the County Education Committee.
For your information, in case you have not noticed, I am here. And I'm not going to be walked over as if I'm a paving slab.
You see what a vicious temper he has? He's not fit to be in charge of little children. In fact, if you ask me, he's not even a believer himself.
Oh, that can't be. Mr. Harpole was trained at one of our church colleges.
Ask him.
I really don't think this is proper.
You should never have put him in charge. Do you believe in God? And mind it's the truth.
I used to believe in her, but now I have my reservations.
What did I tell you?
I was indeed beginning to sound like Miss Foxborough, and I heard myself go on like Miss Foxborough. I believe in the Holy Spirit, which is also the great spirit of freedom. And if all this stems from that pathetic scrap of paper, if I really thought that God was an easily offended old gent with a reserved hassock in the front pew, then I should join the Anti-God Club myself today.
That is a very interesting idea, and I hope you will develop it further for us. For instance, Mr. Harpole, would you be prepared to substitute the word...
I demand my resolution to sack him is put to the meeting.
Please do not cause yourselves any further anxiety about my future. I am getting out now. In fact, I shall leave Templing St. Nicholas immediately.
Before we rush forward, I should like to read out a letter which, as chairman of the governors, I received just before this meeting. It says, "We, the undersigned, desire to have it recorded that we have complete confidence in our colleague, Mr. G. Harpole, and trust that his very successful period as acting headmaster will be noted by the school managers. Signed, Rita Grindle-Jones, Grace Tollimash, James Pintle, S. Crozer, and... I'm not sure I can quite read the last name. Is it E. Fox Beddoe?
Well, they would all say that, wouldn't they?
And I have another letter here, signed by 147 parents, who ask if Mr. Chadband could be rewarded for his long years of unstinting service by making him an education officer, and also ask that Mr. Harpole be confirmed in his place. And I trust I am speaking for all of us in my hope that our friend Mr. Harpole here will forget this little episode and give Tampling Cricket Club his sterling services for many a long season to come."
Thank you. But no. I have come to believe that I shall not live forever, and therefore I intend to pass my days, however many there may be left me, elsewhere. Good evening.
You said that, Mr. Harpole.
I did.
You have struck a notable blow for liberty. They have found one man they could not put down.
Yes, that is all very well, but how am I going to make a living? What can I do?
You can do anything.
Can I?
We can do anything.
Can we? Will you marry me, Miss Foxborough?
No, not at the moment. But you may call me Emma. And you may sleep with me now and then. And if we fit, and all goes well, we could rationalise the arrangement for the sake of the children.
At 10 o'clock at night, while studying a map of Africa, there was a knock on my sitting-room door, and it was, of all people, Mr. Tusker. He looked embarrassed and sheepish, and asked if he might come in. I called out, "Here's an official, dear. Is it convenient for him to come in?"
Just give me time to put my skirt on.
A moment later, Emma appeared from my bedroom, smoothing back her hair.
Look here, Harpole.
Mr. Harpole, if you don't mind.
Yes, Mr. Harpole. I'm awfully sorry about today. About what happened, I mean. If you care to withdraw your resignation, you can count on my support. I've been very impressed by your period as acting head of Tampling St. Nicholas.
If that is so, you have been at considerable pains to conceal your high opinion.
And I have strongly recommended you for favourable consideration by the Education Committee when next a suitable vacancy occurs. I do feel rather badly about all this, but you cannot imagine how difficult my position is, Mr. Harpole. Some of your colleagues seem to think my sole function is to
Mr.
make...
Tusker, we have decided to leave the country.
Leave the country? What? Go overseas? Go abroad?
Africa.
Forthwith. The next morning, I emptied my desk drawers so that all is left shipshape for Mr. Chadband on his return. After some thought, seeing it up on the wall, I decided to dispense Sir Henry Newbolt's play up, and play the game poem into the wastepaper basket, as I no longer believe in its facile sentiments. As the whole school sang, Emma glanced significantly at me, and so I relinquish charge of Tampling St Nicholas, Church of England, Primary School.
That was The Harpole Report, written by J.L. Carr and dramatised for BBC Radio by Jonathan Smith. It starred Sean Dingwall as George Harpole and Hattie Morahan as Emma Foxbarrow, with Christian Rodsker as Mr. Tusker, Sam Dale as Mr. Thieker, Leslie Nichol as Mrs. Blossom, Jane Whittenshaw as Mrs. Rita Grindle-Jones, David Holt as Mr. James Pintle, and Susie Riddell as Mrs. Sue Bird. Other parts were played by the cast.